Good. Okay, let me start my lecture, Space for a Better Earth. So my presentation is focusing on how space enabled the technology or insight can solve the issues on Earth. My name is Satoru Kurosu. I'm the CEO of Kurosu Space and Sustainability LLC. And I'm a business person, not engineer, and actually founded the space business organization in Yokoga Electric Corporation, which is the leading process automation company, which is diverting into space in Japan. I established this organization back in 2021, so just 5 years ago. And also, I was Chief Sustainability Officer or CSO of Yokogawa and attending the UN meetings like EISD Summit in New York headquarters on COP26 in Glasgow. So that's the reason why I started my company, Space and Sustainability, to promote how the space-enabled technology can solve the issues on Earth. I'm also the director of UNISEC-Global. So here's the agenda of my presentation. After a short introduction, I'll talk about space and SDGs, followed by the actual use cases, which I was involved in the Yokogawa Electric Corporation. So introduction is thinking about space is thinking about Earth. So do you know this person? He's Dr. James Hansen, and he was a former director of NASA's Goddard Institute of Space Studies, and well known as a pioneer in raising global awareness of climate change risks. So he studied Venus and found that Venus once had water, even had water, but it became extremely hot, over 400 degrees centigrade, due to the carbon dioxide greenhouse effect. And he made a famous speech in a Congress in the 1980s to give the warning that a similar mechanism could drive global warming on the Earth. So this is one of the examples that thinking about space is thinking about Earth. And before I talk about SDGs, let me show the one picture called the SDGs wedding cake. So this the picture was made by Stockholm Resilience Center, and they categorized 17 goals of SDGs into 3 layers: biosphere, safety, and economy. And society is, based on the biosphere. And this chart, this picture shows that, only the biosphere is healthy and the society is healthy, we can live. However, for example, in case of COVID-19, society was damaged and we needed to inject a lot of cash to recover that. But if a biosphere is broken, it's the end of a story. And in case of space, there's no biosphere we rely on. So we need to think about the artificial systems to support the human lives and understand how precious the human nature biosphere is. I'll come back to this picture later. So then I talk about the space and SDGs and start from this famous picture of Apollo taken by Apollo 17 astronauts. American writer Mr. Frank White wrote a book called The Overview Effect after the interviewing more than 50 astronauts. And he said these astronauts said almost the same thing, 2 things basically. And one is the Earth is beautiful, but at the same time, they were astonished by the fact that this atmosphere looks very thin, like a paper thin. And almost 8 billion people living in this the thin layer of the atmosphere with all the lives and animals on the planet. So we need to protect this Earth, precious Earth. This is a sense of feeling after they see the Earth from the outside. So there are many values of the space beyond the Earth. And so I segregated into the three categories. One is the overview effect, and second is extreme environment, and the limit breakthrough. So as I said, that looking at the Earth from the space, from outside, so we have a new perspective from viewing Earth from the outside. And in case of the extreme environment, there are lots of extreme environment, unique environment, which is hard to obtain on Earth, like microgravity, high vacuum, extreme low temperatures, and so on. And using this new perspective for viewing Earth from space and utilizing the unique environment in space, we can break a limit of ourselves. Limitation of common sense on Earth to create other, innovative solutions. So as I said, that there are many good values or new values in space. So utilizing these other values, we can create the solutions or technologies who can be beneficial to solve issues on Earth. So go out to the space, but at the same time, think of Earth, and then they bring a benefit to the Earth. So in my presentation, so there are so many application examples which are useful to contribute to solve issues on Earth by the space-enabled technology and solutions. So I pick up several examples tonight. So once about the overview effect, I will take several examples about Earth observation. And in case of extreme environment, I'll take one example about life science experiment utilizing the microgravity in ISS. And about the limit breakthrough, I will give the one example about deployment of the space circular economy model to Earth. So use cases. So remote sensing and in the UNISEC-Global, I don't have to talk about the summary of this remote sensing technologies. I just highlight application examples of various like climate studies, agriculture monitoring, fishing monitoring, resource management, and urban planning, and disaster management. So here, this is an example. Yokogawa is working together with the companies to create a solution. So Yokogawa sales outside Japan is about 70%. So we have lots of industry customers around the world. In case of this, solution, we are working together with a mining company in Latin America and working together with a satellite company to monitor the status of a tailing dam. And mines will create the waste, which is toxic, and they keep this waste in a dam called the tailing dam. But sometimes the dam is broken and damage the villages underneath. So this is bad for the human right. But on the other hand, of course, it's a big burden, not only the technical, but also the commercial financial burden for clients. So we are working together to create a kind of solution, and without going to the actual dam, we can monitor the structure of the dam so that they may think kind of alarm of the structure. This structure change may cause some kind of disaster in the future. And as I said, that Yokogawa is a process automation company. This means that we have lots of variety of sensors on the ground, and we are good at handling data on the ground. So we thought it's beneficial to combine the ground data of micro data with the satellite data or macro data to create a meaningful information about the customers. I bring out one example, which we are working together with JAXA. Before this, we started this solution development. We already have a sensor on the ground on the water pipes. This is the case of Bangkok. And we provided leak detection services to the client. However, sometimes some part of the Bangkok leakage ratio, I mean, is more than 50%. So a lot of leaks. So the client would like to, of course, fix the leak as soon as possible. So working together with JAXA to get the satellite image. And not only the satellite data and ground data, we got several layers of the information like maintenance data or piping data to create the kind of intelligent way to locate the potential leak area. So we have been developing this together with JAXA to create a better solution for our client in Bangkok. And the second example is about the extreme environment microgravity experiment in ISS. So Yokoga have supplied a confocal scanner to ISS Kibo module. And this scanner is integrated to the COSMIC. COSMIC stands for Confocal Speck Microscope, which was integrated by Chiyoda Corporation. So what this scanner does is to create the 3D image of a cell without damaging or killing a cell. So this is used for the various experiments. I introduced just one called the space organogenesis experiment. So this is related to the iPS cell or stem cell. And on the ground, on the Earth, with the gravity, it's challenging to create a stem cell, iPS cell, in a three-dimensional organs. So Professor Taniguchi thought under the microgravity, maybe they can grow the iPS cells in a three-dimensional organs in a bigger manner. So once this mechanism is certain, they may be able to copy processes on the Earth in a liquid. So this the confocal scanner is making the 3D images so that they can sense if this technology can be imitated on the Earth too. Last one is the example of a limit breakthrough circular economy model in space. So please remember this picture I showed. So in the space, we need to create the system to live without the biosphere. So now the Yokogawa is in charge of some mission in the moon. And like recently, we received the order to develop the control platform to the lunar cruiser. And this system, the control platform includes Eclipse system. And the why moon? So moon can be the unique testbed for developing sustainable technology for us, independent of natural ecosystems. Because there's no nature, no fossil. If there's a fossil on the moon, it's scarce. So and also to bring something from the Earth to the moon, it costs you about $1 million per kilos. So to bring something on the moon, to the moon, so you need to recycle and reuse, and also the reuse as much as possible. So then if this model can be created on the moon, this can be the ideal model to be copied on the Earth. So the Yokogawa have been working together with the partners to create, first of all, energies on the moon came from the lunar water. So water is divided into the hydrogen and oxygen by electrolyzer. And hydrogen can be used for energy or propellant, and oxygen can be used for the human habitation, like this. So ECLU stands for Environment Control Life Support Systems. So the human bodies emit various things like carbon dioxide or like waste and for sewage. And so to create the environment for the humans to live in space, we need to create the circulation model like that. And if this model is made in the space on the moon, it can contribute to solve challenges, various challenges on the Earth, I mean, like this chart in the SDGs. So Yokogawa have been working together with partner to create the two things on the moon. So first one is the clean energy based on the hydrogen extracted from the lunar water, and the ecosystem for the circular economy on the moon. So, in space, there are new values beyond Earth, as illustrated by the space value triangle. Space-enabled solution can help solve terrestrial challenges through sustainable businesses and contribute to achieving the SDGs. Let's take action together now. Thank you very much for your attention.